Hey everyone, it's Scar, and today we're going to be going over my BowSorc build that I have been using for update 40 lately. And guys, this build is everything you're going to want. It is hitting so hard. I don't think I've ever had a build hit this hard before, and I am absolutely in love with it. I think it is absolutely so much fun, and I really hope that you guys enjoy. One quick thing before we get started: if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do me that favor, 2 seconds out of your day, click that subscribe button. That's all I ask for. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. Let's get on with the build. All right, so this is everything that we're gonna be running on here. Let's go with our race first. We're gonna be an Orc on our BowSorc because overall, I think Orc is probably one of the best races that you can get for this. I like both Orc and Imperial, but Orc is free. So let's do Orc with this one because I think the extra damage on that is really nice. We're also going to have 64 points into health. Yes, guys, 64 points into health. Nothing on anything else because, trust me, we're going to be using Thracians on this build and it's going to lower our health a lot. So this is the best way to counteract that. Also, speaking of Thracians, a lot of people didn't like that I was running Thracians on my last Stamplar build. So you know what I did? I made another build with Thracians because I don't care about what people don't like. I care about what I like and what I think is fun. So we're going to be using Thracians again because it hits so unbelievably hard and it is so much fun to do this. But we'll get to that in a little bit, I promise. So we're also going to be using Orzoga Smoked Bear Haunch for our food to increase our max health and our stam and magic recovery. Also, we're going to be using the Warrior as our Mundus Stone as well, and Vampire Stage 3 as always. Because of that Undeath passive, the less health you have, the less damage you take. So it's awesome. All right, so let's start to go to our gear now. So as our body set, I'm sorry, this is gonna be our front bar set. We're gonna be using Way of the Fire. So we're gonna be using a heavy reinforced helmet for that. So what that does is it gives you a line of weapon and spell damage, max stam, and crit chance. And when you deal damage with a weapon, you deal an additional 3,121 flame damage, and that can occur once every 2 seconds. So that is when you deal damage with a weapon, but weapon dots also apply to that. So as you can see, we're running poison injection, which leaves a dot. So every 2 seconds on that poison injection, it is proccing our Way of the Fire as well. And we're not even fully buffed on this, so that tooltip goes up as well. We also have One Piece Magma Incarnate Shoulders in Well Fitted Medium because it gives you a line of magic and stam recovery. And overall, I really think that that's necessary on this build. It's your one little bit of sustain that you have on here, and I really feel like it helps a lot on here. Also, heavy reinforced chest piece for your Way of the Fire. And then, as I said before, Thracian Stranglers, because this thing makes you hit so unbelievably hard. So what this does is killing an enemy grants you a stack of Sloat's Call for 1 hour, up to a maximum of 50 stacks. So each stack is going to increase your weapon and spell damage by 23. So let me bring out my calculator on my phone real quick as I'm talking. 50 times 23. We are increasing our weapon and spell damage by 1,150 by having these at full stacks. So that is a lot of extra damage just for having one mythic on, and I really like that. Also, on top of that, it reduces your maximum health by 120 for each stack as well. So that is also going to apply to this. So 120 times 50, that's going to be 6,000. So we're counteracting that 6,000 by also having 64 points into health as well. So that's a good compromise, I would say. Yeah, it kind of sucks to lose that much health, but it makes it balanced slightly. And I really think that it's a lot of fun, this build. I really can't stress enough how much fun I've been having with this. It kind of sucks that your stacks go away after you die, but I'm going to show you a quick way after I'm done explaining this entire build, how you can build your stacks very, very quickly. I did it for my last video, and I'll do it again because, I mean, you guys want to know, and I'll show you guys. I don't really care. So, light, well fitted for our Thracians. Also, as our body set at all times, we're using Reliquin. Reliquin is going to give you a line of crit chance, another line of crit chance, and when your light and heavy attacks are going to apply a stack of harmful winds to your target for 5 seconds, and harmful winds are going to deal 283 physical damage per stack every 1 second, and that can stack up to 10 times as well. So just light attacking on this build is going to apply that to them, and that is doing so much damage over time, especially as you kind of build more stacks on them and keep on light attacking, get all your different abilities up. You are doing so much damage with your harmful winds. I can't stress enough. I know that tooltip looks low, but it really adds up because you could stack that by 10. And on top of that, we're not even fully buffed on this build yet. Right now, we've got where is it? 6,100 weapon damage, and that's before we even have our major major sorcery or major brutality buff up right now. So also moving on, heavy legs of the fire as well in reinforced. Medium well-fitted Reliquin's boots as well. And then our 3 jewelry pieces are also going to be Reliquins. All are going to be triple infused, and all are going to be weapon and spell damage glyphs with the stam recovery glyph on it as well. And then our front bar is going to be a bow of the fire in the sharpen trait with... I have a shock damage enchantment on there where I probably should have something else because I got Vadishron on my back bar. But, I mean, shock was working just fine for me. So, you know, use shock damage. And then also on our back bar, we're using Vadishron's Perfected Ice Staff in the defending trait with a weapon and spell damage increase enchantment on it as well. So the reason why we're doing that is because that is going to increase our overall damage on this build. You keep it at medium range, and also on top of this, you get major breach on your enemies. So that is a great way to just do extra persistent damage that really wears your enemy's health down. So let's look at our champion points real quick before moving on to our skills. Our blue slottables are going to be Deadly Aim, Ironclad, Mastered Arms, and Untamed Aggression. Our red slottables are going to be Pain's Refuge, Survival Instincts, Sustained by Suffering, and Celerity. And our green tree, I'm just going to go to the green tree real quick because this is what we care about. Breakfall is a huge passive to have on this. Please make sure you have this in at all times. Also, Rationer and Liquid Efficiency are really the 2 main things that you care about as well. All right, so moving on to our skills, because I wanted to show you this in this menu because this is a lot bigger than the other one. That way you guys can see a lot better. We're going to be using Poison Injection as our main spammable. This is going to be proccing your Wave of the Fire every 2 seconds. And on top of that, it's just a great source of extra damage because it also does execute damage for your enemies that are at lower health. So that's great for your overall damage. So moving on, we're also using Camo Hunter. This is going to be your source of major savagery and prophecy. So it's going to increase your weapon and spell crit by 2,600. On this build, we have about 45% spell crit on this, so you are hitting so unbelievably hard between your insane amounts of weapon damage and then also your crit being super high. Trust me, you are hurting people. Also, Crystal Weapon is an amazing ability to weave in between all of your light attacks, and you can, if you hit this and then activate a light attack into Poison Injection, most people, I kid you not, especially during this mid-year PvP event, most people will get to below 50% health just by that quick combo. So overall, that's awesome for your damage because that's also going to reduce your enemy's physical and spell resistance by 1,000 as well, which isn't the most, but it is a lot of damage in the long run. And then also we're going to be using Streak on this build. This is going to be a multifaceted skill. This is going to be a nice CC for you. So if you need to CC your enemies, it's an unblockable one. So you just go right over them. Boom, easy CC, finish that kill off. On top of that, it's going to be a great way to engage into a fight if your enemy's too far away, or even disengage if there are too many people and you need to kind of run away for a second. Streak is an amazing ability, and I definitely recommend having this on this bar. And then also Bound Ornaments. I have been loving the damage on BowSorc with Bound Ornaments. It is just such a great way to get your max stam up as high as possible. And on top of that, the 4 seconds, the 4 projectiles that you could throw at people, when you combine that with your other abilities, that is a lot of damage in a very short amount of time. So if you could stack that properly, I definitely recommend that. Also, I really like the Ballista ult on this build because that is hitting so hard. So you activate this on your enemy and then you streak right over them. They are taking so much damage. It's going to be so hard for them to recover after this, and you can just continue to go offensive on them. And this is going to kill most players, but if it doesn't kill them, you can just go super offensive on them. It is a great way to just kind of take control of the fight. And then back bar, we're going to be using Critical Surge as our main source of major brutality and sorcery. So it's going to increase your weapon and spell damage by 20%. And on top of that, it's going to, whenever you deal critical damage, you're going to be healing yourself for 4,000 health. And that can occur once every 1 second. So you're doing a lot of critical damage on this build over time. And it is a great way to just keep your health up. This is probably one of your main sources of healing. Please do not forget about this. Make sure this is active at all times. And then Hurricane, this is going to be your source of major resolve, so it's going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 6k. Also, it's going to give you minor expedition, so it's going to increase your movement speed by 15%. Also, it's going to be a nice little AoE around you. It doesn't do too much damage, but at the end of the day, that damage can crit, and that can also proc your critical surge as well. Also, we're going to be using Resolving Vigor. This is going to be your nice 5-second heal over time. And on top of that, you're going to get Minor Resolve, so it's going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 3k for 20 seconds. And then Dark Heal, this is the closest thing you have to a burst heal on this build. You're going to sacrifice magic for stam and health, but the bad part about this that you guys got to keep in mind is this can be interrupted, so please be wary about when you use this. Be smart about when you use this. If you just do this in the wide open when all your enemies are looking at you, you can be interrupted and that can punish you, so make sure you're smart about this. Most times I make sure to do this right after I get CC'd as well. That way, you know, that's just extra stam back in your pocket, and, you know, get that health back up to full as soon as you can. Also, this is going to give you minor berserk and minor force by using this for 10 seconds. So it's going to increase your damage done by 5%, and it's going to increase your critical damage by 10%. And finally, our last skill is going to be Elemental Susceptibility. This is going to be your source of major breach on your enemies, so it's going to reduce their physical and spell resistance by 6k. Also, every 7.5 seconds, the enemy is going to be afflicted with the Burning, Chilled, and Concussion status effects. So you're going to do a nice little bit of damage. Oh my god, what was that? You're going to do a nice little bit of damage on your enemies as well, just by having those status effects on them. It's not the most amount of damage, but hey, I'll take any source of damage in this game. And on top of that, this is going to be what's proccing your Vadistron Perfected Ice Staff on your back bar, so make sure you have this on your enemies at all times. And then I have Energy Overload on my back bar, and guys, I can't stress enough, I was so weary about using this at first because it always bugs out for me, but once I got used to it, this does so much damage. It is unbelievable. It's crazy how much damage this ability does. If you can combo this with your crystal weapon and poison injection, you can genuinely one-shot somebody before they even knew what hit them. This has been hitting so hard for me, and I absolutely love it. Only use the light attack part of this. Guys, do not use the heavy attack. You don't want to RP as Palpatine. It's really not worth it at all. All right, so real quick, let's show you how to build Thracian stacks. So we are right here at the gate for EP. We are at the northern gate. So this is going to be in PvP only where you can do this. I mean, you can do it in a lot of areas, but this is the fastest way to do it. Say you die, you want to build up your Thracian stacks. So if you're on EP, you go to the northern gate. If you're on AD, you go to the eastern gate. And if you're on DC, you go to the southern gate. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find the siege that's right here. And let me bring out the fire ballista, because the fire ballista is the easiest way to proc this. It just needs to come back up. So you bring this up. You look at these dummies that are out here. You can see there are a bunch of dummies. You can't attack them normally like this. As you can see, you know, they're only attacked by siege. So you go over here. You attack it with the siege. Boom. That's going to be 2 stacks because you just killed 2 of them. And you just got to kill 50. You just got to kill 50 so that you get your full stacks. And I know it's kind of tedious, but that will get your stacks all the way up. And I know that it's not the most fun process. Every time you die, you got to go do that. But at the end of the day, it gives you a lot of damage, and it is worth it in the long run. I really I can't stress enough, this build has been so much fun. I've been hitting so hard with this. I really hope that you guys enjoy. As you can see, my weapon damage on my front bar is up to 7.1k, and that's also with my, wait, where's my, there we go. We're just buffing up. Also, my spell critical on my front bar is 45.4 as well. So you could see between your critical and your weapon damage, you're going to be hitting so unbelievably hard. So guys, that is the entire build. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please take 2 seconds out of your day, click that. Also, if you are subscribed to the channel and still want to help me out, there are a bunch of different channels that are going to be in my description. It's going to be my TikTok, my Instagram, my Twitch. If you guys want to go follow me on any of those, I'd highly appreciate it. All those are free to follow on, and I'm trying to be more active everywhere we go. If you guys want to be helpful with that, please go follow all those. I also have a website now where I post all my builds, well, most of my builds. I'm still getting to the process of using it a little bit more. So if you guys want to see my website, that will also be in the description. It's teamsakara.com. Let me know what you guys think of it. We put a lot of work into it, and I'm really happy and I'm really proud of it. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.
coming straight to your stereo. Yo, get the speaker box loud. Yo, get the speaker box loud. 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 We coming straight to your stereo.